Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 11. Today, we will do our presentation. It is about incomplete independent clause. So, before we start our presentation, I will introduce our teams. First, it's me, Adriana Maezaliyati, and then Annisa Fayzah, Umi Agustin, and Supriyani. So, let's start our presentation.
Hi everyone, I'm Supriyani. Today our topic is incomplete independent clause. First, we must know what clause is. Clause is a group which consists of one subject-verb pairs. There are two kinds of clause. That is dependent clause and independent clause. Dependent clause need another clause for information to make sense. This is because dependent clause begins with subordinate that makes the meaning of the clause unclear or vague. Example: although it is raining. Then, how about independent clause? An independent clause is a group of words that contains a subject and verb and expresses a complete or compound sentence too. The independent clause is a sentence that doesn't need any support sentence in order to be complete. And then, the typical of independent clause. The typical of independent clause is it consists of a subject that describes the content of a sentence. It's a predicate that describes the action of what the subject does, and revealing information that clearly explain and make it easy to understand. Now, I'll give you an examples. Mila graduated 2 years ago. In this sentence, Mila as a subject that explains the content of the sentence, and graduated as a verb that explains the action of what Mila did. This is a simple sentence because it consists of one independent clause. Now, you know what the independent clause is. So, if there is someone asks you what the independent clause is, you can answer that with clearly.
Hi, I'm Annisa Fayzah. Now I want to tell you some examples about independent clause. She looks beautiful. The subject in this sentence is she, and the verb is looks. This sentence has subject and verb pairs. It expresses the complete of events and can stand alone as a sentence. Another example, he went to Bandung. That is one independent clause. The subject is he and the verb is went. These two examples are also called simple sentence. Simple sentence is one that has only one independent clause. The boys sang and the girls danced. This sentence has two independent clauses. The boys sang, and the second one that could stand alone as a sentence is the girls danced. The boys is the subject and sang is the verb. Other independent clause, the girls is subject and dance is a verb and is a coordinate conjunction. This sentence is also called a compound sentence. Compound sentence is one that has two independent clauses. Next, George ate the cake before his brother returned from work. George ate the cake is an independent clause. It is an independent clause because we could and punctuation on it like a period or full stop. In other words, it could function as a complete sentence. Now, independent clause contrasts with a dependent clause, right? before his brother returned from work is a dependent clause because it couldn't stand alone as a sentence. And let's look at the independent clause. We have George as a subject and ate as a verb, and in dependent clause we have his brother as a subject and return as a verb. Before is subcoordinating conjunction, and subcoordinating conjunction joins dependent clause to the independent clause. This sentence is also called complex sentence. Complex sentence is one that has an independent clause and one dependent clause. Now, let's do an exercise on incomplete independent clause. The art of storytelling, blah blah blah, almost as old as humanity. A. That is. B. Being. C. It is. D. Is. The subject is art. And as you can see, there is no verb here. So we are going to find the verb. Option A is wrong because connector that is unnecessary. Option B is incorrect because the verb ing is not considered a verb, which is a condition of completing a sentence. Option C is wrong. Subject it is not needed because there is already a subject. The subject is the art, right? So the correct answer is option D. The art of storytelling is almost as old as humanity. Another example, Duke Ellington wrote blah 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 during his career. A. There were over 1,000 songs. B. Over 1,000 songs were. C. Over 1,000 songs. D. That over 1,000 songs. The subject is Duke Ellington and the verb is wrote. There is already a subject and a verb here. It is using verb to wrote. If we look at the context of this sentence, wrote is a transitive verb. What is transitive verb? Transitive verb is a verb that needed an object. So we need an object after wrote. During his career is proportional phrase serves as an adverb. Now let's look. Option A is incorrect. Their word is unnecessary. Option B is incorrect too. Verb were is not necessary. If you look at the question, there is no connector and there is already a verb wrote. Option C is the correct answer. Over 1,000 songs is an object from verb wrote. Option D is incorrect because connector that is unnecessary. So the answer is Duke Ellington wrote over 1,000 songs during his career. Okay, I think that's all some examples about independent clause. Now let's move on to the next part.
Hello, I will explain about the punctuation of two independent clauses. Completed independent clause sentence can be added with others adverb. If there are two independent clauses in a sentence, compound sentences are formed. For that, we need marker words such as coordinate conjunction, conjunctive adverb, or semicolon. Coordinate conjunction. The characteristic of the coordinate conjunction is the addition of words such as for, but, yet, so, nor, and, or. The seven coordinate conjunctions have different functions. For is used to explain the reason, cause, or purpose, and is used to add one item to another. Nor is used to express negative statement, but is used to show the contrast state. Or is used to show a contrasting state. So is used to show the impact or effect. punctuation in sentence with coordinate conjunction. If the coordinate conjunction is used to connect to independent clauses in a compound sentence, the punctuation comma can be right before the conjunction. These are the example of an independent clauses using coordinate conjunction. The first one, he went to library, comma, for he read some books. Second, I ate burger, comma, chicken fillet, comma, and spaghetti. Third, I won't go for a walk, nor for swimming. Fourth, Andy is clever, comma, but he is careless. Fifth, you can write by using pen or pencil. Sixth, the alley was dark, comma, yet I found my way. 7. It is raining, so I use my umbrella. Conjunctive adverb. The characteristic of the conjunctive adverb is an addition of words such as however, furthermore, finally, that is, etc. Additional rules for using conjunctive adverb. First, always use a period or comma before the conjunctive adverb when separating two independent clauses. Second, conjunctive adverb is not robust enough to join independent clauses without supporting punctuation. Third, use a comma if the conjunctive meaning and but or also occurs between the conjunctive adverb and the condition. Fourth, use commas after the conjunctive adverb when they appear in the beginning of the second sentence of the first. The only exception to this rule is that a comma not required if the adverb is a single syllable. Fifth, if a conjunctive adverb appears in the middle of a clause, it should be included in the comma most of the time. This is not an absolute rule and does not apply to short articles. These are the example of an independent clause using conjunctive adverb. The first one, Lucy kept talking in class, semicolon, therefore, comma, she got in trouble. Second, I like you a lot, semicolon, in fact, I think we should be best friends. Third, you are my friend, semicolon, nonetheless, comma, I feel like you're taking advantage of me. Semicolon. Semicolon is used to combine two interconnected independent clauses in a sentence. Use of semicolon. The first one, semicolon is used to connect two highly related independent clauses into one sentence. For the example, it's mine, semicolon, it's not yours. The second, semicolon is used to initiate the adverbial conjunction. For the example, I was up all night, semicolon, therefore, comma, I fell asleep at my desk. Third, semicolon is used for separating details if commas have been used. For the example, the participants are from Teluk Betung, comma, Bandar Lampung, semicolon, Cikerai, comma, Cilegon, semicolon, and Sadang Serang, comma, Bandung. Fourth, semicolon is used before the coordinate conjunction when a comma is used or the sentence is very long. For the example, the man has given her anything, house, car, beautiful dresses, and money, semicolon, but, comma, the pretty young woman, comma, his old classmate, comma, it's still not love with him.
So next, I will explain about three types of independent clause. There are transitive verbs, intransitive verbs, and linking verbs. First, I will explain about transitive verbs. Transitive verbs is describing a subject who take action into direct object. So the conclusion is independent clause sentence with transitive verbs forms into complete idea with object. The example is Doni painted a beautiful sunflower. So the subject is Doni and the object is sunflower. Second is intransitive verbs. Independent clause with intransitive verbs are describing subject who take action without having any of direct object. So the conclusion is independent clause sentence with intransitive verbs forms into complete idea without any object. For the example is the students always comes early every day. So in that sentence only has subject but there is no object. So the differences about transitive verbs and intransitive verbs are: transitive verbs are verbs that have an object, such as noun or pronouns, as a complement. But intransitive verbs are verbs that don't have any of object but can be followed by adjective, adverb, or prepositional phrase. Also, transitive verbs have passive sentence in contrast to intransitive verbs that don't have any of passive sentence. Last is linking verbs. Independent clause with linking verbs that it's explained that subject has a certain description. To form this, it needs complement to the subject, so it is called subject of the complement. For the example is that wedding organizer are trusted. So that's all for our presentation. Thank you so much for watching, and we are sorry if we make mistakes in this presentation. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.